Hi everyone, today we are going to look at how to model a low poly tree like this. Okay, so you can see that the tree is made up of the basic trunk and the foliage pieces. Okay, so to model any object, what you need to do is have some references. Okay, so what I did was I searched for low poly tree, and there are a lot of examples of different low poly trees that you can use for reference. I selected this particular tree. This is you can see it's an animated GIF file, so I had to save this image and then convert it into a JPEG image to bring it into 3ds Max. So we are going to look at how to model a tree like this in 3ds Max. So what we will do is reset this file, say don't save, and the first thing you want to do is create a reference plane. So this is going to be the plane. Okay, and then we will assign a material. So if you go to rendering material editor, slate material editor, we'll drag a standard material, and then you will drag the diffuse and add a bitmap, and then you just need to find where you saved the file, and that's where the the file is. So you can also go to maps, bitmap, select the file, and then all you have to do is connect it to the materials diffuse color. If you double click the material, you'll see the material properties here. Okay, and then the diffuse has the material. Now we need to assign that material to this object. So we will this one is attached. I will delete this one. So select the material. It is good idea to rename your material, tree reference image. Even here we will rename it tree reference plane, and we will right click and assign the material to selection, and you still don't see the tree, so you go to show selected material in viewport. Okay, so now we have the material. I'm simply going to drag this down, and then we can even go here, and for most of the part we will be working in the front view. So we will align the base of the tree at the origin. Okay, now the other thing you need to do is select, we can scale it big, it's kind of a small image. Let us create a box and a cube. In the perspective view, you can simply click and drag, so you get a small box. You can see it is 33 units. Doesn't really matter the size unless you're working at a particular scale. I'm not, I'm just modeling it, and later on you can just scale it to whatever size you want. So now while modeling, we don't want this plane to get selected by mistake again and again. So I will right click on that image, go to object properties, and I'm going to freeze that image. Okay, and then if I say OK, you can see that the image disappears. So I will unfreeze all, select it, go to object properties, freeze it, and I will also deselect the option where it says show frozen in gray. So now you can see the image and then you cannot select it. Okay, that way you can now use that image as a reference and work on your model. We will also assign another material and name it tree trunk. Okay, let us give it a brownish color. Okay, assign material to selection. So that is our tree trunk. And what we are going to do is we are going to make it 50% transparent, so that when you are working on it, you can see your image through it. Okay, so now we will convert this to editable poly, and then we have access to our sub objects. Okay, so if you select the vertex, you can scale it small. Now make sure that whatever you do, you don't do it in just 2 axes. Okay, you have to do it in all 3 axes. So I'll select the top ones, move it down. So this is the base, and then we'll select the polygon, and basically all we are going to do is keep extruding. Okay, so basically we are going to work with the extrude tool all the time, and then we will here go and turn the edged faces on. So we are in the shading mode, and then we'll turn edged faces so you can see what you're doing. So we are going to extrude it, and I need some extra geometry. So there's no geometry here, like you can see, seems like there are no edges, but I'm going to add some edges in the middle here, and that's about it. You keep extruding, just accept it, move it. Okay, scale it if you want. If you don't want to scale it, it's fine. I'll extrude it one more time. This time it's going to be small here. So every time there's a branch, we need a face which can be extruded out. Okay, and I'll show you that here. So now this has to be square, so I'll just scale it a bit. I like a square branch, not a rectangular one, so we can scale that element and then extrude it out. So that face extrudes out, and then we will work on that branch later on. Let us complete our trunk. Okay, I just wanted you to show what we're doing. Okay, so we'll extrude it again, and then I would leave one. You will rotate it, and again when you rotate it, make sure that you don't rotate it in different angles, but be specific. Scale it in the middle here, and then extrude again. Okay, again scale it down, move it down, scale inside, extrude. Can control the extrusion. It will rotate this side. Extrude in the middle. Okay, so we can then extrude this. So here also we can go to edged faces so you can see what we are doing. So I'll select this, extrude again, rotate, scale, extrude, rotate, scale it a bit, extrude, rotate, extrude, scale, and then the last one we will just leave it a little bit. Okay, continue modeling our trunk here. I went ahead and modeled the branch. The plan was to focus on the trunk first. Anyhow, doesn't really matter. Extrude, scale, rotate, move, extrude a little bit for the branch, rotate, extrude, move, scale, extrude again, move inside, scale, extrude a little bit. Okay, so this branch here, I think it is here, extrude, rotate, move, scale, extrude, move, rotate, scale, extrude, move, rotate, move again. I guess this one, scale it a bit, extrude, and this time just a little bit. So in the end we are keeping the distance less. Okay, everywhere same thing. Okay, if you think you need to work on the scaling or something, you can always move things around so it looks a little better. It's an organic tree, so it can be of any shape. So we need to finish this, rotate, you can scale it also a little bit, extrude, rotate, scale, extrude, scale, rotate, extrude, and then a little bit. Okay, what we can also do is have a small trunk come out here, and maybe that trunk will not have any foliage. So I'll select all these edges and I'll connect it. Okay, so when you connect it, you can then move it up or down. So I'll just move it down a little bit or up a little bit, I guess. We'll bring it out from here. Okay, so select this, and we're going to use our imagination for this one. So extrude, scale, move, rotate, extrude, and someone just broke that poor little thing, just hanging there. Okay, so that's about it. And we are doing everything in 2 dimensions. You can see that we didn't extrude the third one here. You can do that, but the tree looks nice even in 2D. And because this is a beginner tutorial, we will just focus in front view, extruding on the sides, and we'll get good results. Okay, so we're done with this. Now we go to the material editor, and then we will change this opacity to 100. Alright, now what we need to do is make it look a little organic. So what I do is add a mesh smooth modifier. Okay, it only has 1 iteration and doesn't have any is an isoline display option. Okay, so you can see that we added more geometry, and now we will add a multi-res modifier. We'll generate it, and what you need to do is, so you add a multi-res modifier. I'm doing it a little fast, I'll go slow. I'll click on the generate button, and then the vertex percentage, we will reduce that, and that will add some randomness to our mesh. Okay, so it becomes low poly and it becomes a little organic at the same time. Okay, now what we will do is we will create the foliage. For the foliage, we are going to go to extended primitives and use an hedra. Okay, so you click and drag, go to modify panel, and we will use a dodeca or icosa hedra, and we will move the P so you get a shape like this. We'll move it, place it on the top, and we're going to scale it in Y, so it looks like a squished sphere. Okay, it will be placed on top here. We will scale it big and big. We will rotate it along this angle and move it around a little bit. Okay, I will simply shift rotate it. I'm using the shift key on the keyboard and rotate it, and then it's going to create a clone. So I'll put the clone in the other place, make it small. Okay, so you can either move or rotate using the shift key, and it is going to copy it. Okay, so for example, I'll shift rotate it, and that would be our tree. Now we need to select the tree. I'll move it out. Okay, so now we need to randomize our shapes here as well. Okay, so you can select one and then make some changes to the basic numbers here. I don't want the Q, I just want P. Okay, so that is one of the ways to randomize it. Okay, and then few changes here and there. I don't think I need so many. We'll add noise. Alright, and then we need to change these numbers. Okay, and then you can change the seed, and you can change the scale. So it was 100, and if you go down, it randomizes. If you increase the scale amount, Okay, so you can do that to all of them. Okay, so 25, just use any numbers and experiment with it, see what you like, and then change the scale. Okay, noise, scale reduced, and then the strength increased. Noise, strength, let us try 100 on this one. Okay, you can change the, so that will add some randomness to the tree. Now we need to add materials, so or you can simply change the colors here. One can be, so add to green, little light green. This will be lighter. This can be brownish. Okay, then you can get rid of the edged faces, and now you have a low poly tree. Okay, what you can do is select this one and go to, instead of messing things up, we can add an edit poly on top and go to the bottom polygon, edged faces on, select the bottom ones and delete them. Then we can click on the border. Okay, scale it in Z, scale it out, so it has a flat base. Okay, that's about it. You can look at different trees, different profiles, and try to model it. We can also see that there's one trunk which was not extruded, and again it is again two-dimensional but still looks nice. Okay, so you can look at other examples and challenge yourself with maybe a more complex tree structure which is going in 3 dimensions. Thank you.